Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. Today's video, we're going to talk about how they will control you. Now, the how they will control you, we're talking about the elites, World Economic Forum, George Soros, whoever the fuck it is, Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates. They are seemingly, the elites, implementing three structures to control us, or rather to control those who are easily controlled. Because I think the rest of us are already bowing out from their fucking structure system that they are building. But nonetheless, they are still building a system, and it's a three-tier system, if you will, to control us better. The first structure, guys, of this system is called surveillance. They are looking to develop a new form of digital ID. Now, a digital ID surveillance is just that. Meaning with your new digital ID, guys, no matter where you go, where you get scanned, if you go to a store, restaurant, supermarket, hospital, dentist office, your job, this new form of digital ID is your surveillance. They are watching and tracking you every step of the way. Now, of course, with this new digital ID, they're going to have more cameras, more high-tech, probably AI-run camera system throughout whatever country, city, or state you live in that implements this three-tier structure system. Now, the new digital ID, guys, will probably be some kind of a chip of some kind, whether that's in your arm, in your neck, or a digital tattoo of some kind on the back of your neck. Some of you get that one. This is how they're going to track you. Now, obviously, guys, with a chip, right, whatever that system is, whether that's an actual bracelet or a chip in your body, they're going to track a lot of things. They're going to track everything you do. The time you go to take a fucking shit, from the time you wake up in the morning, the glasses of water you drink throughout the day, the amount of food you eat, what you look at on the internet, what you look at on TV, your internet usage, how much you're using, how long you're on it for. They're gonna fucking track your medical records, how many fillings you have in your mouth, how many doctor visits you make, how many times you get in a fucking abortion, how many times you get fucking, itching cream because you have some kind of fucking, genital disease around your crotch. They're going to track it all. They're going to track your e-commerce, what you buy online, where you travel, how long you're gone for. This is part of the first tier system, the first structure of building their closed society. Now, a lot of you heard me talk about a closed and open society, right? A closed society, guys, is a system where they want you to live that life, sort of like an authoritarian system. It's what they tell you to do, how you do it, and when you do it is according to them, the government, if you will. They're already building this system in place in a lot of places like China. An open society is what we still have today, or what we have left of it today. That's the freedom to move up and down the economic ladder, if you will. Whereas in a closed society, you're born into that economic society or status, if you will, and that's where you stay. No room to move up and down. An open society, you can move where you want. Now, guys, with this digital ID, obviously they're monitoring your finances as well, your bank account, and if you don't have this, you might not be able to access your money, because to implement this, guys, they have to get rid of cash. Obviously, if they still have cash in place, this doesn't work. So they're going to probably get rid of cash very soon. I'll get to later why they're going to get rid of cash and how they're going to do it. But if you're not a part of their system, guys, you can no longer operate in their system, which I think a lot of us will be fine with it. Check me out, Scotty, beam me up, take me somewhere else. I don't give a fuck, I'll live in the woods. But that's me, and I know that's a lot of you guys that'll probably do that as well. Now, who will have access to this information, guys, to this new digital form ID? Not only will you have access to it, the government and or the elites, whoever's in charge, whatever private company is issuing that chip or branded tattoo or bracelet on their arm. They're also going to have access to it. So a lot of people are going to have access to all your shit. Now, some of these things are going to be used for commercial use, to gear towards you and what you buy and how you buy it and what you may like and all this other crazy shit. But if the government is involved in this, or the elites are involved in this, guys, you are locked into their slavery system. That is the new slave system, because there's nowhere to move with that. You can't fucking just go somewhere and hide. They'll know that you're sitting in a fucking cave. Because I suspect that the signal on this chip or bracelet, whatever it is going to be strong enough for you where you can't hide anywhere. You can't even go underground. Now, as of right now, guys, there's no clear privacy policy on this. So as of right now, it's just an open market. There are companies developing these chips, these RFID chips, and there's a new kind of a chip that they're looking to build where it has infinite amount of data on it, or you can put infinite amount of data on it. Sorry, I think you could do the same with an RFID chip as well, but this is supposedly new technology they're working on. So there are countries that are kicking this back, rather. So in Kenya, the high courts in Kenya ruled against the new digital IDs. They said that it was a privacy issue and that they were not on board with this. And whoever was trying to implement this system in Kenya had to go back to the drawing board, or were rather kicked out of Kenya because they weren't allowing that. Now, Klaus Schwab wrote a book called The Fourth Industrial Revolution. In this book, he talked about how chips were going to track the movement of people and the behavior of people as well. Right, so like in China with their social credit scoring system they have out there, they track the behavior of people. If a person throws trash on the ground, he gets a couple points deducted off his social credit score. If someone walks up behind that dude, picks it up, he gets a couple points added, give or take, that's how it runs. Klaus Schwab had already talked about this in his book. Now, I think the book, guys, is an important book to get and read, because that's going to tell us what is coming, and that's going to give us a better understanding of how to avoid this. Right? I guess if you read the enemy's manual, you know what the enemy is going to do. Now, guys, apparently with this chip in the body, privacy is gone. Privacy is non-existent. Because if the elites and the government are tracking you, you have no privacy. That is why the Kenyan high courts got rid of it, because they wanted nothing to do with it. So here in the United States, they are conditioning us with our cell phones. A lot of us, every time we walk out of our house, we have to pick up our cell phones. We got to pick up our Apple Watch, whatever it is. Now, yes, I am subscribing to this system now, because right now I still have an out. I could still leave my cell phone at home. I could still leave my Apple Watch at home. I have that choice, and I have. I go for a run, I leave my phone at home. Sorry. If I go for a walk and I don't want to be bothered, I leave my phone at home. But if you subscribe to the system of the chip, you can't leave it at home. You are the chip. Now, guys, the second structure is finance. This is where the government now absolutely dives into, or rather controls, your finances, how much you have, and why you have that much. Well, why does he have $8,000? Well, he did a job in such and such place. Well, maybe we should take more taxes out, kind of deal. They're going to control your fucking money right down to the fucking penny. Though the penny's probably not going to exist at this time, because they're coming out with a new digital currency that the United States government owns and runs, and the elites own and run. But nonetheless, guys, they want every cent, and they want to know every cent that you have and where it's spent and where it goes. They will have more control over your finances, guys. They will have more control over your belongings. There's something called sharing economy, or economic sharing, however you want to look at it. And this is where, guys, you share almost everything down to the fucking apartment you live in. Now, the apartment sharing thing was strange, because the way it makes it sound like, it's like, well, if I go to work for 8 hours, you come home, you sleep for 8 hours, or maybe it's 10 hours to give you time, to give yourself an hour window on both ends, an hour to relax, get in the bed, go to sleep, wake up and do it again. And then the guy comes home when you're gone and he does the same shit. And that's a shared economy. You guys share the same exact utensils and everything in that house, in that apartment, whatever it is. And this is going to be a test run really soon. Right now, I don't see it working. It won't work with this many people, but that is why the Agenda 2030, if you will, or 2050, whichever fucking grasps us first, with less people, you can run this kind of society. Now, central bank digital currency, right? This is CBDC. This is something that a lot of countries are working on right now, because this central bank, guys, is where all the money goes. Every last person in New York City, for example, all of us, all 8.8 million of us, we will have this money in the central bank digital currency account, right? Or place, wherever the fuck it is, either the cloud or an actual bank. And we will have this electronic currency in there. So it will no longer be the dollar bill or gold coins. It'll be this thing that they tell us is money, sort of like cryptocurrency. That's not real. So they're going to tell us how much we have. And the problem with this banking system, guys, is that this banking system is run by the government or the elites. And they tell you how much you can have, and they tell you how much you can have. If you fuck up, they could hit you with a fine that they can pull out automatically. If you are one of their best pets, they'll give you money automatically. This is a system, guys, that they're going to have people rely on. Now, again, to have people rely on a system this shitty, that means something cataclysmic has to happen to the population for it to dwindle down to nothing, so where people look at this as hope. This is not hope. This is another form of jail. Now, again, guys, the government will be your banker. You will go to them for whatever you need. Now, there are a lot of countries currently working and if not researching this, and a lot of the countries are as stated. United States, Brazil, China, Canada, Germany, Austria, and Australia are researching and or developing the central bank digital currency system. Again, this is bad because they are working on it or researching. I think the United States is researching it as of right now. Again, these people want control of it all, guys, all of it. Now, again, watching the government control your finances, we did see this in Canada during the truckers' rally, if you will. And we saw Canada withholding people's money, or freezing their bank accounts because they didn't like the fact that people were standing up for themselves. So they froze hundreds, if not thousands of accounts because the government didn't like what was going on. Now, if the Canadian government had that much power to freeze those accounts of people who were involved in the trucker rally, imagine what this system can do when it gets implemented. Now, the third and last structure, if you will, is scoring. Now, the social credit scoring system is activated, or rather active, in China as we speak. The United States is developing it. Germany, Brazil, again, Austria, Australia, pretty much the same countries, including Italy and I think France, are developing this social credit scoring system. Now, for those that don't know, the social credit scoring system is a system of behaviors. It's a system where if you do good, you get extra points, raising your credit score. If you do bad, it lowers your credit score. Now, if you do good, your credit score gets raised. It allows you to go see a movie. So if you keep your credit score, let's say, in the 500 zone, you can go to restaurants and movies and so on and so forth. If you are in the 200 zone, the Jimmy the Dickface zone, you and Jimmy the Dickface will be hanging out at a park throwing fucking bread at pigeons because you're not allowed to do anything else. There have been rumors that it can even get so low that you can't even go food shopping. That's a rumor in China, that is. Don't know how true that is. But nonetheless, guys, I can see them doing that in the future if it's not happening now. Because your social credit scoring system, guys, is how they control you, how they control your behavior. Because they think that if everybody is the same and behaves the same, that society can be better. Absolutely not. That's not how it works. Now, believe it or not, guys, your social credit scoring system can be rated on driving badly or driving good, how much video games you play, or how much time you spend in front of your TV playing video games, how much time you spend in front of your TV. If you are a good person in society, do you pick up trash? Do you throw trash on the ground? What are your shopping habits? What are your social interactions? Do you go online and shit on the Chinese government or whatever government you live in? Because if you do that, that also brings your credit score down as well. If you play too many video games, that brings your credit score down as well. This, guys, is where we fight. Because you're going to tell us how much video games we can play or how much time we can spend online, what we can say online. I mean, listen, they are restricting us now because YouTube, for example, is legitimately doing this now. They don't like what you say. They don't like you talking about China in a bad way. They can demonetize your video and or delete your video. Now, how do we get here? We get here through a cataclysmic event, a bad event, guys, that dwindles the population. Makes the population struggle for a year or two after that event, whatever that event is. Now people are struggling. Then people are starving. And then you introduce this new system, this new society, this new way of living. And people are going to gravitate to it like a fat kid to a Twinkie. Because they are going to look at it as hope. They're going to look at it as a new way of living. And they're going to sit there and say, at least I'm not struggling and my kids get to eat. And people will wholeheartedly run to that society, run to that new system, and will act accordingly because they are being told to. We were put on this planet, guys, we were put on this planet with something called free will. And free will has free range. Now, I get it. Free range can get you in trouble, but that's how we were built. That's why we were built the way we were built. That's why we were created the way we were created. But they want to stop that. They want you to live a normal life according to them, and they want you to live by their rules because they want to be the rulers. Now, with this kind of power, guys, That's the one thing you have to keep in mind. With this kind of power, there's a lot of shit that can happen, because if you have people who have this much power, they're going to abuse it. It's just a matter of time. All right, guys, other than that, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Prepper channel, and I will see you in the next video.